If you happen to be in the market for a mod collection guitar, there is a sale running through tonight that's 10% off, which will basically just help you with sales tax. Certainly not the best sale we've ever seen out of them. I'm curious if we might see a deeper 15, 20, or 30%, as there's still quite a few in the shop. Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Starting things off, 80s Explorer, Copper Rose Flake. Sounds like fun. Photo's a bit dark, so let's brighten it up. Here's what you got for $3,100. It's coppery, it's a metallic flake. It's certainly a little bit more interesting than just your regular straight-up ebony finish. But whoa, okay, now I see why that thing sold. Double stinger, man. And then it's just a jet ebony black. It just looks like something absorbing everything. That's sweet. Hopefully you didn't miss the painted over backplate as well. And why not paint the headstock and have a voided out logo? And it looks like the edges are actually black too. So a lot of extra work went into that one because they had to mask off the sides. But now we have a 54 reissue Fool's Glow. This one's kind of interesting because normally a 54 reissue is a wrap-tail gold top with two P90s, but this has been like hot rodded, it's been modified for the ABR1, routed for the humbuckers. That's a really fascinating finish. It's nearly like a greenish gray coloring, but if you look past the shine right here, it appears to be a color swapping finish, but yet it's still transparent and you can see through to the wood grain, like right here by the knobs. And even though it kind of looks like you have a bursted pattern here and then it turns gold there, I'm curious if it's just the whole thing color shifts. Or maybe there is a finish underneath the color shifting. The back is surprisingly cherry red. They threw on moto backplates. And that must be a new back finish because they painted over the mod collection decal. Now that that's a new thing, they can experiment with things like that. That's fun. But that is DS serial 22, looks like 9 with locking grovers. Then we have Mystic Forest 57 reissue. Really ambered over clear coat, but then it's a nice dark metallic teal color. Got your witch hat knobs. Being a 57 reissue, it's completely mahogany constructed, no maple top. Headstock matches the rest of the theme. If you look closely, instead of it being black in the center, that's actually another metallic green color. That's fun. This photo seems to suggest that the metallic job actually is incorporated in the yellowed clear coat as well. Certainly an interesting piece, again, with the covered over backplates. But after seeing that red over, going over here, seeing the serial number is yellow, and then our mod collection white again, stands out like a sore thumb. Along similar lines, deep shade green on a J45 standard. That one's so dark, I really cannot tell it's green, and I think they tried their best to bring it out with the light shining here. But okay, I can see it on the back. Is that the theme? Green back and neck? Whereas the shade comes from a black top? Okay, yeah, I like that now. But here's what our headstock looks like. Now we've got Wild Butter Toast. It's a 68 reissue. This thing looks suspiciously like an Access custom with that finish. Not sure if I'm getting the butter toast vibes from it, but hey, it's a slight variation on a 3-colored sunburst with uncovered pickups and speed knobs. But whoa, okay. So it appears to be like a really deep molasses red. But then underneath that, you get a black stinger, and then your new decal, and DS serial 230. There's certainly a lot to that one. Then one of the new ES330s in a custom color, Spicy Marmalade Burst. We've got a lot of fun Halloween episodes next week, so it's probably going to be pushed to the week after that. We will eventually review the new ES330, but here's kind of an interesting reddish bursted one. But then the back, they incorporate kind of a walnut finish, so very traditional. Does anybody else see a smiley face right here? There's like a smile and then 2 eyes. But rather than a stinger for the headstock, they just kind of did a light burst job, I guess you could say. I like them being creative. Can't just throw a stinger onto everything. But this week, they also relisted a lot of old ones. Here's the complete list. Such as the Prismatic Heather 63 SG Junior, which has kind of like a silverish prism effect, as you can see in this photo. The Smoked Ruby SG Custom, that whole red and black theme. Oh yeah, I remember that, because it had that very interesting headstock burst. I'm really happy somebody took Midnight Pumpkin home. Perfect for this season. Interesting reverse burst with a red edge. In the back, had a stinger on the neck and the matching finish on the back. Trans Teal Talic 335, still looking for a home. It's a nice flame top, slight color shift to it, top and back, but then the neck was left natural. Poor old Mantis. I think I remember editing this episode because I put a cool little Mantis decal on the back of the headstock. Seriously? DS128? Does time fly or what? But now let's check out the UK mod collection. They had a pretty stellar Promethean Sparkle 70s Explorer. which when I first saw this, I thought this was the winner of this week. It's pretty fantastic. Moto pickguard, really sparkly finish, high performance style knobs, chromed out everywhere. You get the binding due to this model. But in many ways, I think that 80s Explorer is the true winner because we didn't get a matching headstock over here. And the back of this one is just completely matching, which is fine. It looks good. It just didn't take as much time to complete. But hear me out. Wouldn't this look great with a Firebird embossed on that pickguard? I know it's not a Firebird, but just a little bit of an accent red. I'd be fine with it being ebony as well. But all things considered, that was not bad for €2,700. And I don't know about you, but if my milkshake is purple, I'm gonna have some questions. But that's what this $339 is flavored. A blueberry milkshake. But what strikes me as most odd about this is the fact that we have the black switch tip. It doesn't really match with the knobs. Or maybe it's just the knobs that just don't match with this guitar. But the back is completely matching. But check out this 58 reissue. Sunrise Burst, €5,500. It's not my favorite, but I think it works. They could make a limited number of these, and I think people would be interested. Because you go from like really deep red in the magma to closer to the top, and then you finally get to the sun's rays on the water. I think I'd call it like Summer Sunset Burst. You can really only pull this finish off without a pickguard though. Here's what they did to our headstock. Basically just a new truss rod cover. And the back was left a cherry. Now on to the demo shop. I was shocked they did not put everything on their sale because they still seem to be dumping a whole bunch of new inventory into the shop. So if you see something that really catches your eye and is truly unique, go ahead and jump on it. Otherwise, I still see a big sale happening eventually. But most of what I want to share this week is simply because of damages. Like check out this modern light. Everything's normal for the most part. But then look at this. Wow, that really got dinged up against something. And then over here, yeah, that's just typical craftsmanship. Something went wrong. But another thing I saw on a lot of these guitars, this must be a new issue for Gibson. They keep cracking around here. Now, it's just a finish check line. It's nothing nefarious. We had it on the standard 60s, once again, coming from the inlays. But then we're getting a lot of finish checks coming from the screws on this 339. But by far, the worst thing that I think we have ever seen is this 57 Les Paul Jr. Now don't worry, you're not actually going to see what's wrong with this until we get through all the photos, and then it will stand out. I thought for 100% that Gibson took this photo, they went in and doctored it because this is just a light scratch, and they wanted you to be able to see it, so they highlighted it. No. Sure enough, you go back to the main photo, now it stands out. That thing's cool. I wouldn't spec it that way, but since it happened, it's like Harry Potter's scar or something. So that tells us two things. Gibson sprays these all over kind of a sunbursted color like you see in the center, and then they do the black around it. And then perhaps when they were working on the frets or something, their tool slipped and went whoosh. That's my best explanation as to how that happens. Because it looks like there's another small scratch right here by the pickguard that does the same thing. Now that we know this, I would love to see the mod collection guys take one of these juniors and purposefully scratch it and call it like Bear Attack Junior. It's cheesy, but I think they might be onto something here. Then over here we have more reasons why I don't necessarily trust the Murphy Lab aging, because the early ones, their finish flakes off of them eventually. Now, apparently they fixed it, but I need like a good 10 years before I would hold on to one of these in my collection for a long period of time. That's just my personal thoughts. Then they also had an 80s Explorer that was modified with zebra bobbin pickups for $18.99, which is $600 off. But then this was fascinating. We have not seen old guitars in the demo shop in quite some time. So at first you might be like, pull pieceless mini humbuckers. We've got a mini toggle instead of a second tone. We have true mother of pearl inlays. Man, what were they thinking? This thing is spec'd crazily. So it's a Henry J era guitar, more specifically a 2015 model. So you're gonna have the wider nut. Looks like they've already replaced that for you with the titanium. We've got the Les Paul 100 on the headstock. It's the super wide headstock. You don't have the fret nibs. We do not have the E-tune though. That's the biggest thing that would turn people off. So if you don't mind the 2015 neck profile spec, you can tell it's already got that original golden case. And yeah, it's kind of cool. And the fact that you can buy it with a warranty from Gibson. I mean, $2,000 is quite a bit, because you can go over here to the used market, maybe haggle someone down to like 15 or so. But if that ever goes on sale, it's kind of got a unique story. Sat in Gibson's warehouse for nearly a decade. And then they had one of these, the dark walnut Les Paul Jr. But eventually, hopefully, they'll restock. But until then, some may got for 16. All right, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed this week's recap. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care. Fun fact, forgot to start the screen recording this week. Had to piece this all together with screenshots. You're welcome.